And it was a fast start here at the 5th round of 8 in the Super Prestige. East coming through, and the Belgians champ at the start. Pim Ronhaar coming up the outside. 100 riders at the start here. And it was Wout van Aert on the 2nd row, who almost got caught in that tangle, but was able to move up through into about 13th, 15th position as we went into the technical section. It was Kevin Kuhn, the Swiss champion, fast in front of Felipe Aert. Thibaut Grosso also getting a good start.
Yeah, Van Aert didn't get the greatest starts in the world and just had to work his way through over the course of the opening laps. And it was Del Grosso that brought these 3 clear. Kuhn and Aert at the end of this first lap really made the difference in this final technical section.
Yeah, the last third of this circuit at Zolder, super technical, really physical as well. Dry circuit today, perfect conditions, no need for any riders to swap a bike, but it was just more of the mistakes happening at the groups earlier on. As we see, it took a long time to Van Aert and a big effort to move his way up through. You can see here, after 3 laps, or sorry, on the 3rd lap, a long way back through the group, as Del Grosso and Kevin Kuhn were 14 seconds up at one point, and it was left to Van Aert, the pre-race favourite, to close the gap to the front group. Took a while.
We did wonder whether these efforts from Van Aert initially to make his way to this chasing group, and then another huge lap from him to try and close down to the 2 leaders in the end, did wonder whether that would take something out of him come the final few laps of this race, as he had to work really, really hard on this lap to close down that 15-second gap to the 2 leaders.
Yeah, it was Wout van Aert's hard lap 3. Just managed to get on. Del Grosso, super smooth, just looking behind. Could see Van Aert coming, just had a little breather, adjust the shoes, and was getting ready for the pain it was going to become a super fast lap from Van Aert.
Del Grosso just always looked in control of his effort today. Technically very, very good, but tactically brilliant.
Just who are coming up near halfway. This front group all coming back together. Long start, finish straight, and a massive headwind. At one point, we had 10 riders in the front group. And we see Nace, it was Nieuwenhuis, who just getting dispatched from this group. He was sitting 3rd overall from the day, whether it was fatigue or mechanical issue, but eventually forcing the Ridley rider to pull out of the race. A really tough patch of racing, obviously, for all these riders. You see coming up to halfway, Del Grosso just sitting at the front of this group, all the riders waiting to see who was going to take it on, and the answer was Wout van Aert attacking into this lap and doing an absolute flyer.
I think all the riders are pretty much waiting for this moment, and it was Del Grosso, the rider right on the wheel of Van Aert, who followed the move of the Belgian, who went full gas for pretty much this entire lap and really split things. Del Grosso was under pressure, small mistake on the steps, allowed Van Aert a few bike lengths, but ultimately that final technical section allowed Del Grosso back to the wheel of the Belgian, and then we just had 2 riders clear.
Absolutely ballistic lap, the fastest lap of the race, lap 6 for 7:05. It's 10 seconds faster than any other lap, and it pulled Del Grosso and Van Aert clear of this group. We saw behind the group Van Turnhout, Van der Putte fighting for overall. You can see the pressure that was putting in, the mistakes creeping in. Both these riders making small mistakes, getting the way with them, and they were locked into battle going into the last lap.
I think that penultimate mistake on that lap from Van Aert was absolutely key. It looked like he was just about forcing Del Grosso onto the back foot, and so it came back together for this final lap, and it was Wout van Aert that led into that final technical section, and then it was just a 2-up sprint.
Yeah, despite the efforts of Van Aert, it was going to come down to a sprint. Del Grosso coming up the wheel. Absolute drag strip sprint between these 2 riders. Super close, but it was eventually Del Grosso taking the win by half a wheel to take his first Belgian elite victory here at Super Prestige, following home for his elite Dutch championships. 2-time world under-23 champion, but his first big Super Prestige victory and taking the scalp of the superstar that is Wout van Aert. Half a wheel just in front, ahead of Van Turnhout and Van der Putte and Visura in their fight.